So just what is this unknown planet the seal refers to? According to the arrangement of planets that Zechariah Sitchin attributes to each of these dots, the unknown planet sits between Mars and Jupiter. Sitchin mentions Bode's law, a hypothesis that the bodies in some orbital systems, such as our own solar system, orbit at semi-major axes in an exponential function of planetary sequence. That is to say that using the law, you could predict planets that hadn't yet been seen through a telescope. The theory was described as interesting, but not much more was done with it, until Uranus was found in 1781 and found to fit within the predicted series. Before long, another was found in 1801, that of Ceres, lying in sequence between Mars and Jupiter. Unfortunately, this was the last object to neatly fit the hypotheses. With the discoveries of Neptune, Pluto and Eris all falling outside of the theory, Bode's law has been left as a historical novelty of sorts. Sitchin correctly goes on to say that since the discovery of Ceres, we've also found an entire asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, with Ceres as the largest object within it, containing nearly a third of the mass of the asteroid belt itself. However, he concludes that this must have meant that there was a planet here long, long ago, a planet that was destroyed, leaving only an asteroid field in its place. Let's see what happened according to Sitchin, who tries to map the events of the Babylonian creation myth with his view of the events of the solar system. That is to say that in his view, the creation myth is not just a story about gods, but the story of the planets and events of the solar system. I'll try to explain the events as simply as I can. So, we have Apsu, Mumu, Lahamu, Lamu, Tiamat, Kishar, Anshar, Gaga, Anu, and Ea. At this time in the tale, Ea, the chief god, creates Marduk, even more powerful than he. Marduk roamed the place however he liked, but passing Ea made his belly swell, and passing Anu made chunks of his body break away, resulting in the four winds. Other gods, Tiamat among them, became distraught and soon enraged at Marduk, and sought to deal with him, creating 11 monsters. Chief among them was Kingu. All were given the appearance of gods. Kingu began to head out towards Marduk, but this upset the other gods. Tiamat had no right to create others. It was Anshar who, upon seeing the approaching Marduk, had the idea that he could be the one to destroy Tiamat. Anshar sent Gaga to tell the other gods to support Marduk. Marduk prepared for battle, and upon passing Kishar, brought forth 3 more winds, and he was on a course straight for Tiamat. As the short battle went on, however, it was not a clash between Marduk and Tiamat that proved fatal, but a collision of the evil winds to Tiamat's face. When the winds managed to cut open her belly, Marduk was able to shoot an arrow into Tiamat, extinguishing her life breath and leaving her lifeless. Her followers turned face, never again to act like the gods they claimed to be. Marduk took Kingu's tablet of destinies away for his own, such that he could return to the scene of his triumph and strengthen his hold on the vanquished gods. Indeed, Marduk soon returned, and looking over Tiamat's lifeless body once more, he cut her into 2 pieces. Into one piece the north wind crashed. With the other half of Tiamat, Marduk himself smashed to pieces, creating the Great Band, a bracelet that acts as a screen between the inner and outer planets. So, where once there was Tiamat and Kingu, there is now the Earth, the Moon, and the asteroid belt. Strange then that it's on the same map as the Earth and the Moon. Perhaps it represents the asteroid belt then. Or perhaps it isn't Tiamat at all, but Marduk, the very same Marduk that is destined to return to strengthen his hold on the vanquished gods. It's an interesting idea, using the creation stories to explain the solar system, but with all the evidence we have, it's simply not what happened. Today we know that no planet formed in this region of the solar system. The gravity of Jupiter was too strong to allow any planetesimals to form. Instead of material clumping together and getting larger over time, Jupiter's influence meant they slammed into each other far too fast for them to accrete into a planet. And yet, the Sumerians knew otherwise, thousands of years ago. Of course they did. The aliens told them after all. Remember that this image is not labelled, nor is there any reference on any tablet to this image depicting the solar system, and no references to anything orbiting the Sun at all. The text on the seal even translates to Dubsiga Ili Ilat, your servant, as opposed to these are the planets that orbit this star, our Sun. The only way we can say what the image depicts is to just guess at what it depicts. So if we were to assume that this is Marduk, where then is Nibiru in this tale? For that, we'll be reading the dictionary, Find out why in the next video.